Blessed love YouTube. What's going on? It's the boy the Dawn Dragon back at it again. I was recommended a video called the Keith Lee Effect. You know the God himself, Keith Lee, you know what I'm saying? God's loving child, because that man is blessed in many ways. I love Keith Lee. I am a Keith Lee person. Yeah, and this guy named Patrick CC did a video on him called the Keith Lee Effect. So let's hop in here and see what it's all about. It's a long minute. It's a long video. Long minute means long video because it's 22 minutes, almost 23. So it's gonna be a long one. So we're gonna pause, talk about it, all these other different stuff. So let's jump into it and let's see how I like it.
Imagine you own a restaurant, and the difference between having a line of hungry customers out the door every day or your establishment looking like a ghost town is based on the experience of one man. That one man is not a professional food critic nor a culinary expert, but millions of people around the country treat his word like gospel. That is the Keith Lee effect.
Hell
Keith
yeah.
Lee is either Batman or Joker when it comes to restaurant owners.
My man says Keith Lee's either Batman or Joker when it comes to the restaurant owners. That is crazy. Nah, that is foul, but I understand what he means, but that is foul to say because we all know that they're either doomed to succeed or doomed to fail. It's either one or the other. Believe me, I think Joker is more succeeding than actually failing at most times because Joker gets what he wants, even though he gets arrested a lot.
But once you hear his story, you will understand why he has such a cult-like following. It's much deeper than a guy who has decent taste buds. Keith Lee is a man who failed at the one thing he was actually good at. Then at his darkest moment, he refused.
Damn, just tell him that he failed at the one thing he was good at. That is crazy. I didn't know Keith Lee got busted up like that. That is crazy.
To give up and created a meteoric influence in an industry he had no business being in. Keith described himself as a very small child who felt the need to display his dominance to overcompensate for his short stature. His bad behavior led to him getting expelled from every school in the Detroit, Michigan area before attending a charter school as a last resort, where he barely managed to graduate the 8th grade.
So by the time I got to high school, I was a weed head, smoking every day. I'm talking about.
God damn, I didn't know Keith Lee was that bad. You a bad baby kid. Like, what the hell?
Oh, bad. Like, every day. My freshman year, I had a 0.6 GPA.
Things would get even worse for Keith in high school, where he lived in the shadow of his brother. Keith's older brother Kevin had already garnered a remarkable reputation as a star athlete who graduated with a 3.9 GPA before receiving a scholarship to wrestle for Grand Valley State University, which is an NCAA Division II school. Keith decided to follow in his brother's footsteps for all the wrong reasons.
When I got there, it was more out of spite. It was more out of arrogance. It was more out of just like, now I'm approved to you, I can do it. And I don't even want to do it. I'm going to just do it because you told me I can't do something else. So I'm going to just do it just to shit on you, basically.
He utilized all his pent-up aggression and transferred it out on the wrestling mat, where he showed a genuine talent for the sport and squashed his competition. But he was a stubborn, disobedient child who didn't focus on his grades, didn't stay disciplined, and quit the team. Then his father got arrested and imprisoned following a heated altercation with some people in...
Oh, okay. Did not know this. Damn, this is some deep diving. Okay, this is a really deep diving video. Somebody told me this is deep diving. This is really deep diving because I didn't know half of this stuff. Only thing I know is the surface, the tip of the iceberg, because I just see him on TikTok and stuff. Still my boy. I don't care what this video is really saying, but he's still my boy.
In his neighborhood. His father's inability to provide for his family meant Keith, his mother, and younger brother were forced to move into an abandoned home, where Keith started to question his religious faith and overall perspective on life. At his lowest moment, the only way he could go was up. He stopped smoking, stopped hanging out with bad influences, and got back into wrestling. Fast forward to his senior year, Keith averaged a 3.6 GPA and was preparing to wrestle at the Michigan High School State Championships, which hadn't been achieved by a student at Southfield High School since the 90s. He received a partial scholarship to wrestle for Indiana Tech, but made a critical error. He never actually enrolled in the school. He showed up at Indiana Tech, connected with the wrestling coach, attended random classes, and got fully immersed into the college life. He was expecting a dorm room since he thought he had a scholarship, but when he showed up to the admissions office, they were confused.
They take me to the office and they like, you don't have no paperwork filled out, sir.
Damn.
Who are you? Yeah, they was like,
damn, that man went into the whole system, was like, oh, we don't even know who that man is. Wait a second. Oh, damn. The coaches and all of them know him. Damn, that is crazy.
Only thing we have is the offer letter that we sent you.
Right.
So we only got your name and your information from the offer letter. That's all we know about you. We don't know nothing else.
He treated it like a birthday party invitation. You sent me the invitation.
I just showed up.
Keith laughs about the situation now, but at the time, he was devastated. They
That's
told Keith if he
crazy.
didn't pay them $20,000 for the semester and $2,000 for the application fee, he wouldn't be allowed to go to school. Unable to get a loan, Keith had to move back with his family, who relocated to Las Vegas. He was now sharing bunk beds with his 14-year-old brother, who regularly reminded Keith that he was a loser.
At this point, I'm in the deepest depression I've been in a long time.
Dang.
Because I'm like, oh, the reality is sitting in.
Yeah,
He right.
yeah.
I'm not in school. I don't have a job. I got fired already. I didn't quit a job. My track history with work is already terrible. I didn't got kicked out of school.
Yeah.
I don't have no other offers.
Right.
Nothing in life is looking bright to me right now.
Right.
I don't have nothing going for me.
Keith's older brother Kevin had recently secured a contract to fight in the UFC as Kevin the Motown Phenom Lee, and Kevin was a savage. At his peak, he held a 16-2 professional record
God
and was
damn, his
toe-to-toe
brother
with
is a
legends
fucking
like
monster.
Tony Ferguson and Charles Oliveira. Kevin forced Keith to get into the gym with him, and on his first day, their coach Dewey Cooper realized the potential Keith had as an MMA fighter. Desperate for money and a purpose, Keith trained for a year straight and won his first 4 amateur fights. The only 2 losses he had were by split decision, meaning he was a very promising prospect. However, he was earning next to nothing for these, $500, maybe $1,000 per fight. Keep in mind, this was over the course of 3 years, so he was broke following a rotation of various low-end jobs. But luckily, he met his girlfriend, now wife, Ronnie, while working for ASICS.
Ronnie, aw,
Keith
look
credits
how
Ronnie
they
with
look,
being
so
the
cute.
anchor to keeping him grounded and focused on becoming the best version of himself. Following
Aw.
a submission victory against Leonardo Carvalho at Global Legion FC 13,
Okay.
Keith proposed to his girlfriend Ronnie and intentionally got her pregnant 2 days later. On the same day of the proposal, Keith's manager informed him that his victory against Carvalho earned him a 6-figure contract with Bellator. He won his very first Bellator bout against Sean Bunch. It took many years, but once he finally had a support
Okay, that's
system
cool,
around
that's cool.
him, wife, coaches, brother, he was able to
I'm not gonna pause as much in the beginning, probably like halfway through and stuff like that. I wanted to get through this because this is a long video. I say it's a long video, it's a long. I'm gonna be talking through it or I'm gonna be pausing on key points. This is a very, very long video. So yeah. So far it's very interesting to learn the background and all the stuff like that. So I'm kind of happy I'm actually watching this video because I'm learning about Keith, his effects right now.
crawl out of the repetitive cycle of
Where he's
depression
like
and
his
low
origin
ambition.
and all that
Now
other
with some
stuff.
free time and spare income, Keith signed up for TikTok. Keith's journey on TikTok started just like anyone else, participating in trends for no reason other than it seemed fun. From there, his uploads were just random things that pertained to his everyday life. He was getting maybe 50 views per video, but it seemed more like an outlet for him to have fun rather than start a business. But then the pandemic hit, the world shut down, and Keith needed to make something happen.
I downloaded TikTok after I kept saying I wouldn't. Now I'm sick and tired of every video I post only getting 50 views. I'ma sit here with my dog and tip me and him get famous.
In an attempt to garner more views, Keith began posting psychology facts videos. He gained a little bit of traction, but it didn't last long. He started to become desperate for virality.
You wanna get famous? Follow these simple instructions. Download another app, cause this ain't the one. This ain't it, Chief. It ain't never gonna happen.
Dang.
He would cash out people if they solved a riddle. He posted math problems for people to solve. Even though he looked defeated, he refused to give up. At this point, Keith was obsessed with the platform, posting daily, if not multiple times per day. He started featuring his wife Ronnie on his page after he went semi-viral talking about building a nursery for their expected baby. He then proceeded to document milestones throughout their pregnancy, many of which received thousands of views and ignited a dramatic shift in Keith's content. In September of 2020, Keith won his second fight against Vinicius Zani.
Whatever they have in store for me, I'm always here to fight. I'll fight as soon as my daughter's born. My daughter is born in 4 days, so as soon as she gets here, I'm ready to go again.
He didn't lie. Just 1 week later, he and Ronnie welcomed their first child, Carter. From there, Keith's whole TikTok was dedicated to documenting him being a parent. His loving and nurturing attitude towards his child
TikTok loves
attracted a large
babies.
following
I'm not
of
gonna lie about
supporters.
that.
He
TikTok
provided
loves
them
babies.
with wholesome moments, such as clipping his daughter's nails for the first time and celebrating her first Halloween. This was his family man era. Keith took a fight on short notice, just 2 months after his previous, to fight on the main card at Bellator 253. Unfortunately, he lost by decision to Rafion Stotts, but that didn't ruin his spirits. Keith the family man kept posting his terrible dancing videos and even started sprinkling in some cooking content. By mid-2021, he had accumulated 1 million followers and was averaging maybe 100,000 views per post. This was his foundation, the people that knew Keith was a humble, honest family man. Unfortunately, he would hit a new rock bottom when he lost his 6-figure Bellator contract. In August of 2021, he was set to face his toughest opponent yet, who was undefeated. Keith was beaten and bloody and then submitted in just the first round, then got up while unconscious and stumbled headfirst into the cage. The clips of his loss made the rounds on social media. He was embarrassed. He got a call from his manager saying he was cut from Bellator. Keith was back to rock bottom. His first TikTok back after his loss was him, poetically, ordering some food.
I have these sunglasses on because my eye is black and my face is beat up. I'm fine though, for anybody. Well, I'm not fine, but fine.
He had 1 million followers, but he was only making around $400 per month on TikTok. His fight career was looking grim.
Only $1 million
didn't seem realistic. Then he got a call from the owner of Harold's Chicken just a couple days after his loss. They asked him to do a review of their establishment. At the time, he didn't know it, but Keith just discovered his next big venture.
All right, Harold's Chicken in Las Vegas. They didn't have no mac and cheese, but it's okay. Overall, I get the food a 9 out of 10.
Damn.
Without question.
Following his review of Harold's Chicken, Keith made food reviews as a side quest on his page. However, his main focus was on family vlogs and cooking content. He was still largely referred to as the cooking guy, regularly being asked about his cooking content during interviews. In January of 2022, his wife became pregnant with their second child, and they desperately needed to find another source of income. He started doing more and more food reviews, but they weren't that organized, and he was very generous with his ratings.
We are sitting outside of Firehouse Subs because today we are doing an official food review.
This has the perfect amount of spice. Like my tongue is tingling a little bit. I got that feeling on my lips. You still taste all of the flavor. 10 out of 10.
Keith says he leaned on his faith and prayed something good would come from this TikTok thing, and it did. In June of 2022, he signed a brand deal with Wingstop worth 6 figures, the same amount he had lost from the Bellator contract. He successfully was making a career on TikTok, but it was about to get a whole lot better. His food reviews slowly started to become his main content because his brutal honesty was very entertaining.
Altogether, this food was $50, and the customer service was terrible. The lady at the front where I was picking up was really rude. Like extremely rude. I had to call back and get her name. I think she lied because she answered the phone like I didn't recognize her voice and said, "Hold on, let me go get the girl." You the girl.
Then in October, the popular YouTube channel People vs. Food approached him to collaborate on their channel, and he accepted. This channel has over 12 million YouTube subscribers, and he knew the exposure would help his TikTok career immensely. By the way, double check if you're subscribed to my channel. I asked my wife what I should post on my page to make people not only come and watch, but actually follow. And we decided to post one full review every day. The first got like 11 million views. From there, Keith's entire content shifted to strictly food reviews. He has only been doing it full-time for 1 year at this point, but he never could have predicted what was about to happen next. While most high-profile food critics only pay attention to high-end restaurants that are too expensive for most, Keith shifted that focus onto affordable, small, family-owned restaurants that were easily accessible to the public, or fast food/popular affordable food chains. He even went out of his way to give a chance to establishments that were struggling financially. However, Keith doesn't consider himself a food critic. His reviews feel and look like one of your friends giving you a casual breakdown. A typical review would be him ordering 3 or 4 different items on the menu, like a family of 4 would, then tasting every single item and rating it from 1 to 10. He often throws in other notes like their customer service or additional information that is relevant to the experience.
I got it. Let's try it and rate it 1 through 10. I spent $23.84 on 3 bao buns and a drink. But bro, that's what they look like. Customer service, delightful. It was a very short interaction, but the guy who worked at the front was really nice. And the actual building itself, very aesthetically pleasing. It made me want to eat. Wait a minute, bro. Personally, it was lacking spice, so the add of the salsa took the tacos itself from a 9 to a 9.7. That's one of them ones.
Even when he gives a negative review to the food, he will provide more context so it doesn't come off as unfair. He often goes out of his way to leave massive tips, sometimes hundreds of dollars, to workers that give him good service. Since he had already built a strong foundation during his family man era.
See, that's the thing about Keith Lee, and that's why I like him. Because look, his beginnings were rough. All the things that he's went through was very rough and very hardship. And he just one day just burst out going crazy on all different types of stuff. And that's what I'm talking about. Like how everybody wants to pursue their dreams and do their own things. You got to just push yourself to go and do what you want to do in life, because life is too short in a way that if you dawn on working for somebody for the rest of your life, you're never going to achieve what you want to do. But if you go and you put time in doing something else, while like a little time of part-time, like enough to cover your bills and get stuff going and doing your own things, you will be so much more happier in life. And don't try to always keep up with the Joneses. Try to figure out something that you want to do in life. Don't try to just be like, oh, I gotta keep up because life is just ahead of me. Nah, go at your own pace, have fun doing it, and you will have the most wonderful time of your life. Even when I'm like right now, I'm not like the biggest YouTuber. Like I only have a small amount of subs at this time and point. But if I keep at it, and anybody that, you do what you want to do and you keep at it, eventually it will grow. Eventually you will have your own success. Eventually you will have your own dreams and aspirations come to life. So don't give up on your dreams and don't give up on what you want to achieve because other people tell you to. Those other people don't know what you want in life. So just keep pushing forward. That's all I can say. Keep moving forward.
There wasn't necessarily one viral review that changed his life. His growth has been steady, and along the journey, his audience latched onto his down-to-earth attitude, unwavering love for his wife and kids, and dedication to God. But even if you don't know about his past, after watching a few videos, you can just feel he is a kind and genuine man. They didn't care about Keith not being technically qualified nor having a depth of culinary knowledge. He thinks what sets him apart is his values. I stand on my integrity, I stand on my values, and I don't allow those to be wavered or to be shook no matter the amount of money, the opportunity, or the people I'm surrounded by. With nearly 10 million loyal followers, a full-time dedication to quality reviews of local or less popular restaurants, a phenomenon dubbed the Keith Lee effect would take over Las Vegas, then all over the USA. One of the first beneficiaries of the Keith Lee effect was a local food truck called 303 in the Cut. In November 2022, Keith's review blew up and garnered over 35 million TikTok views since its initial upload. Keith confirmed their cheesecake sandwich was a 10 out of 10, and the next night, 303 had people waiting in line for over an hour, wrapped around the corner for their food. The owner said they doubled their income
first one I saw
in one
was
day,
Franken.
and it stayed that way for over a year. One Las Vegas pizzeria he reviewed, Frankenstone's, made headlines for attracting lines around the block because Keith gave their wings a 10, pizza a 9.8, and garlic knots a 9.2.
Yeah, that's
However,
the one I thought
wasn't
was the
just
first
food.
one.
It was Keith's interaction with the owner, Frank, that made people want to support him even more.
If I don't like the food, I gotta tell you, I'm not trying to be malicious. And he was like, I'm gonna be real with you too. I need help. Yeah, that hit me here. He said the food is delicious. He has great reviews on Yelp.
Just the first one I ever saw.
Is that he don't close the time it says that he closed on Google. The time it says he closed on Google is 1 a.m. He was like, I literally can't afford to open that late because we don't get that much business. Frank, if you're watching this, I'm gonna be completely honest. You are an amazing man from what I saw. I appreciated your time and I appreciated your conversation. Let's try this food.
According to Frank, Frankincense had to hire 23 new team members in 6 weeks following Keith's review and had guests from all over the world patiently waiting for over 3 hours for his pizza. Frank said he was thankful that Keith helped his business and the overall community at large in Las Vegas. Yasser Zermino, owner of Aroma Latin American Cochina, asked Keith to come review their restaurant through email. Keith gave all 5 different items over a 9, including the Oaxaca sandwich, which he said was the best he had ever had in his life. The owner said, "We went from not being able to pay the bills to now having to hire people to come and help us." Other Vegas-based businesses that Keith reviewed have seen instant growth, like Caribbean restaurant The Pink Potato, or Southern Taste Seafood, a food truck that went from making $200 or under a day to seeing a 900% increase in revenue in the days following Keith's review. But his impact wasn't just on small businesses. Even Chipotle, the fast casual chain that generated $8.6 billion in revenue in 2022, saw the benefits of the Keith Lee effect. In early 2023, a reviewer named Alexis Frost posted a review of a menu hack. An order of a steak quesadilla with extra cheese and fajita veggies that fans say tastes like a Philly cheesesteak. Keith reviewed it and gave it a 9.8. Then chaos ensued. Chipotle workers all over the country were overwhelmed with the tens of thousands of people coming in to order this hack. One employee said the worst shift of her life was servicing this trend. Another employee said a customer tried to swing on him, aka fight him, because he couldn't make the food. Managers started posting signs that say, protein and cheese on quesadilla only. Chipotle realized the only way to solve this problem was by adding the hack as an option on their menu, dubbed the Keithadilla. Keith quickly became well known all over Las Vegas.
Nice.
Once he partnered up with Mr. Beast to give $10,000 to a struggling business, he couldn't even go outside without being swarmed, so he dressed up in silly disguises to avoid being recognized. But his impact is not just in Vegas. Keith got to review a local Brooklyn bakery that he selected while being interviewed on Good Morning America, while also donating $10,000 to that business. He continued to do press runs, being interviewed on talk shows around America, and of course, reviewing food. So now that we know how much positive impact Keith can have on a business when he likes the food, what about when he doesn't like the food? Well, unfortunately, the entire city of Atlanta would find out about the negative side of the Keith leak.
So not the whole entire city of Atlanta, by the way. That's one thing I don't agree, because there was a lot of places in Atlanta that he did like. It was just the ones that he didn't like, they heard. And a rumble came for them, and they heard, and they got struck by the lightning.
Effect. In October 2023, Keith announced to his nearly 15 million TikTok followers that he and his family were traveling to Atlanta, Georgia.
Because remember, his food stops didn't start in Atlanta. It started in Chicago area first, I think. Around Chicago. Well, he actually went multiple places, but Chicago was where like the food war was starting. Like the chicken wing war, they call it. So that was the whole thing about that. So that's where it really started with his food tour. Now he went to Atlanta after that. And he said that, there was a lot of rules and regulations that he had to go through. And he was just like, he was in awe about all of that. So, when he got to those certain restaurants, they felt the effect. They really did.
And needed some restaurant recommendations. He had previously made videos in Detroit, Chicago, New Orleans, New York, and Los Angeles, but Atlanta's food scene is entirely different, which prompted a lot of mixed reviews from Keith. The drama first began when Keith visited the Atlanta Breakfast Club, where he wanted to take the food to go, but they didn't have anywhere to sit and wait for the
Atlanta
food.
Breakfast
Club.
I didn't know that
was the first one. They decided to dine in, but the restaurant wouldn't allow them to sit down at a table and be served unless the entire party was there. Upon finding out that they were charged $1 for butter at a breakfast place, it was just an annoying cherry on top. Little did Keith know, it was about to get worse. Keith posted his review of The Real Milk and Honey. However, he didn't actually get any food. Firstly, he tried to call ahead and order. They don't accept call-ins. You can only order on the DoorDash app. But DoorDash said that they were closed. So they drove to the establishment in the middle of the day, and the employees said they were closed for deep cleaning, while there were customers walking in and picking up orders. Then Keith walked into the restaurant and they recognized him and immediately attempted to serve him since he is famous, to which he declined. Keith has always been very expressive that he doesn't want nor deserve special treatment from restaurants. These days, he sends in his friends and family to do orders so he doesn't receive bias from the establishment. He wants his experience to match any ordinary person. I've personally never seen a restaurant have a rules list, but the Real Milk and Honey have a ton.
Yes, that is the Atlanta. That is the Atlanta special. That's why I will probably never go to Atlanta, like downtown Atlanta, and stuff like that, because that is just not something that you should be doing for enjoyment of food. Like you're coming there to eat, to experience something, to have food. Your food is what you need to be more loving and caring, because that's what brings longevity to your business, not the experience of the establishment. Establishment is a bonus. What you really want people to do is your food, not how your place looks, not how you treat them. Well, how you treat them in a way, but not in a way of like, being mean and nasty and all that, unless there is a restaurant like that out there. I forgot what it's called, but there is a restaurant out there where they just be rude and disrespectful. That is the character of the restaurant. Really just how the restaurant is. And people love it because it's actually like they want to be treated like that. It's funny. But yeah, you're not going there to follow rules to enjoy to eat. Like that's not something that you want to do. Like never. It's mostly you want to go there for the food, to see how the food tastes, and yeah, you can experience it, the life of the restaurant, but your main thing is food. Like, you are serving food, you are selling food, and you're making sure your restaurant is the greatest at what it does. You know, any foodie will let you know, like, I don't go there for the restaurant, I don't go there for the vibes, I go there for the food. Why you go to the mom and pop shops that you love so much is because you go there for the food. Yeah, the people are great. Yeah, they're loving. Yeah, their staff is wonderful. Yeah, they take care of you. But at the same time, you go there for the food because you love how they cook. You love how they throw down in the kitchen. So you go there all the time.
Food. Everything else is left to chance. We do not provide individual checks. 18% gratuity added to parties of 5 or more, or checks larger than $105.
And that's crazy.
No reservations, unless you're Barack Obama. No parties larger than 4 on days that end in Y. Keith was clearly frustrated that a business would change the rules when it benefits them, but he didn't want people to attack the Real Milk and Honey because he had a bad experience. However, the internet, being the internet, started attacking. There was actually another restaurant called Milk and Honey whose owner.
And another thing about that, not about this one, but the Real Milk and Honey, the reason why they also got a clapback from the Keith Lee people and from the Keith Lee effect also, because they made a video saying, oh, who is Keith Lee? After they know they invited Keith Lee to the restaurant. Keith Lee only comes when you invite to the restaurant. He does not go to any restaurant just randomly unless he's hungry or unless he just sees like, hey, you know what, I'm going to stop in real quick and grab something to eat. He does not go to any of those restaurants like that. Most times it's people inviting him or asking him to come because they're struggling. So this whole like right there, just like, yeah, the internet was like, oh, being the internet, it's not only because of that. The Real Milk and Honey actually made a video that they should never have made. And then they tried to put an apology video later on to say, oh, we didn't mean it like that. We're just, trying to make a joke. Like, no, you already had that experience in when you came down to Florida and somebody did the same things. Like, oh man, who's Keith Lee? Da-da-da. Like, bruh, humble yourself, learn from your mistakes, and then make it better. That's all you have to do. But because you feel like you're hot shit, that you're not going to want to humble yourself. No, you got to humble yourself. That is the main point of any type of business. When you run any business, you're supposed to be the most humblest person. Even when you make it up into the thing, you better treat the janitor like he's the CEO as well, because guess what? These are people helping you build your business. These are people helping you with everything that you want to achieve. So when it comes to this whole thing, that's why it blew out of proportion, because you just thought that, oh yeah, because some TikToker came and, we didn't want to see, like he didn't get our food because he didn't want to sit down or because of the fact that you have so many rules and so many regulations. You didn't even serve his own family. Like, he had to come in and then you guys tell him, oh yeah, now you guys can sit down. Like, no. That's not how that works. He humbled you. And then you didn't take the humbleness and then you turned it into a malicious intention by saying, oh, who's Keith Lee? That's why you guys got roasted on the internet. It was your fault.
Owners were receiving death threats in the DMs because of people confusing them with the other restaurant. But if you had any sympathy for the...
Another thing, don't leave death threats to anybody, because that's not right to do. That's never right to do. That right there should be a really big law against that, because that is something that is very dangerous and very, very nasty. Like, that's how fun things go bye-bye really quickly. So we should never condone that. We should show that. We should make sure that nobody ever does that. It's really, really bad.
Real Milk and Honey, it would be gone once you saw their response video they uploaded to TikTok.
Did you see this?
And that's what I'm talking about right here.
And who is this Keith Lee?
Daddy, you don't know Keith Lee?
Yeah. No.
The owner tried to look cool and pretend like he didn't know the entirety of social media is destroying his business, but it only made people want to support their business less. To add insult to injury, Keith reviewed the bodega positively, which is directly next door to the Real Milk and Honey, which resulted in a line of customers skipping the Real Milk and Honey to wait in line for the bodega. But the shenanigans continued. Keith reviewed another ATL restaurant called Old Lady Gang, but again, did not get any food. He tried to call their number, No answer. Tried to order on DoorDash, said they were closed. He sent his family into the physical store to do takeout. They said they don't do to-go orders on the weekends, but the wait to dine in was 1.5 hours and they didn't take reservations. Instead of leaving, Keith decided to walk in where he was recognized and immediately they offered him a seat, skipping the entire hour-and-a-half wait, to which Keith denied because he didn't want any celebrity treatment. This is exactly how it is for us regular ATL folks. Imagine them telling you your wait time is 1.5 hours, then someone else comes up and sits immediately. Keith left and visited Toast on Linux, where he didn't plan on doing a review but arrived to a 2.5-hour wait time. When he politely left, the entire staff walked out and offered him a seat immediately, to which he denied again. There were videos that went viral of him in the parking lot seemingly arguing with the staff, but he was just letting them know that he didn't want to skip the line.
Yeah,
but Keith's experiences are not just
Here's the thing. That's Cardi B, by the way. But here's the thing. If a man is trying to still say, you gotta let them in before you let me, that tells you about somebody, all right? Because you don't see that a lot about people. You don't see them try to say, hey, I don't need to be, prioritized because I'm a celebrity or I'm a TikToker, I'm an influencer. You need to be more humbleizing. These are businesses need to learn how to be more humble with their people that come and support them. Because these are people coming out of their way, spending hours on end just to get food, where they can go to down the street to McDonald's or something else just to get food. So you need to understand that you need to be more humbleized. If you need to break the rules to make people have takeouts or you need to do other things, do it. Weekend takeout type stuff, man. You got places all around the world that do that easily, all right? Mom and pop shops outblow that. That's how they get majority of their money. They don't even get it from sitting down. They get it from taking out. If you don't have a takeout policy and you're trying to do all that, boy, you should see how the mom and pop shops do. They love takeout. Yeah, you can sit down and enjoy the time, talk to them, have fun with them. But at the same time, if you gotta go, you gotta go. But thank you for supporting me. That's all they care about. Sometimes they throw in extra stuff for you because they love that you come back and you support them. I used to go to a mom and pop shop all the time, and believe me, they threw in so many different things for me. And they used to give it for me for free. Because they're like, yeah, nobody's really eating this. You want it? And I was like, yeah, I'll take it. And it was free food because you're just a loyal and a consistent customer. You're helping them by enjoying their food. And that's what they care about. They care about that you enjoy their food. They don't care about, you have all this money. They don't care about that. They don't care if you're a celebrity. They just want to care if you love their food.
Unique to him. Cardi B spoke on the subject on an IG Live.
I feel like Atlanta restaurants, they don't like to make money. I feel like they don't like people. They don't like their customers. They just don't like it. First thing first, right? You could barely order in Atlanta restaurants. You go hey, I would like to make an order. Oh yeah, we don't take orders. We don't take orders. It gets to the point that
you can't be doing that.
I have to tell people that order food for me, can you just name drop my name? Because first and first, they don't do no pickup orders. They don't do deliveries. They just don't do shit.
And of course, we got some hilarious memes from this whole situation.
You walk in. Let me show you how it's done. Hello,
yes,
sir.
the memes are crazy, and Keith Lee loves them.
You talk like that. We talk like that. Because
Keith Lee loves them.
That boy Keith Lee in Atlanta now. Hey, y'all little bougie at restaurants? Y'all better get on your goddamn Zoom now. Hey, milk and honey? Uh-huh. See, that was y'all ain't get for giving me attitude when I told y'all my partner was just down the street parking the car. Uh-huh. See, that was y'all ain't get for giving me attitude when I told y'all my partner was just down the street parking the car.
Although most people were understanding of Keith's frustration with these ATL businesses, others, like ex-football player Chad Ochocinco, thought he was trying to tear down black-owned businesses.
I don't like the
this whole man right here. I watched this. And my boy right there was murdering him. Not Ochocinco. The other guy you saw a while ago. I forget his name. Damn, what's his name? Damn, I forgot his name. I had a brain lapse. I can't remember his name.
Restaurant.
But Ochocinco was in the wrong for this.
And talking bad about our goddamn businesses
because he's not hurting black businesses.
You know how hard it is, and I get it, Ocho, for us to even get in the food industry.
Him, the oh my god, what's his name? What was his name? What? Oh, Shannon Sharp? Yeah, Shannon Sharp. That's his name. Shannon Sharp. Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. That's his name. Yeah, no, Shannon, that's his name. Shannon protected Keith Lee in this, and Ocho was trying to destroy him for this. Understand something. Ocho was not in the right at all, whatsoever. Because he felt like, oh yeah, this is, you're destroying black businesses and all that. Bro, no, he was not. First of all, he was trying to help the black businesses by even walking in there. 1. 2, he's also what is called humbleizing businesses that think that they can outbeat the masses of people supporting them. You cannot just think that, oh yeah, you're going to outbeat me because... No. That's not how that works. Shannon came and says, bro, like he even says it all the time. I'm not a food critic. Keith Lee always says, I am not a food critic. I do not do that. I eat. I'm blessed. I do what I'm put here to do. But you would just think because I'm a celebrity, I should have the right to do what I want to do. That's not how it goes. Because now you're a celebrity, you feel like, oh yeah, I can just walk into anywhere and everybody has to bow down to me. No. Not everybody's going to bow down to you. That's what I was trying to tell you. There's a lot of mom and pop shops that don't give a shit about you being a celebrity. They just care if you like their food or not. Yeah, it can help them. Yeah, it can make them more money, but they don't care about that. They care about mostly, oh yeah, he likes my food. He's going to come back and support me. And I'll tell you what, Keith Lee goes back to the restaurants he likes the most, and he does updates, and he buys more food, and he tips them massive amount of money. So when people are trying to tell you, oh yeah, I don't really like this, and it's like you're a celebrity, you should act like you have more authority and all. Nah, bruh, because guess what? At the end of the day, people don't care if you're a celebrity or not. You can go around the world and people won't even notice you half the time because, oh, I'm a celebrity here. I can act like, no. Don't be acting like you're all that when you get to a certain point. Still be humble. Because at the end of the day, these are people that help you get to where you're at. Yeah, you worked hard in the NFL, but what was like, you still had your fans to help you at certain points and support you when you left the NFL, when you didn't have anything really going for you besides the NFL. What did you have after? Businesses. What do those businesses need? Consumers. And what are those consumers going to do? Help you, right? At the end of the day, you still have to be humble to the people that are consuming from you. And that's why I don't understand when all these people are saying, well, you got to be like this and you don't have qualifications. Like, no, you don't got to be like that. You just still got to be like, oh, okay, I see where he's going. I see what he's doing. I could understand. Yeah, I don't really fully agree upon it. What you could say is I really don't fully agree upon it in the side of, or the sense of a way that it might be destroying a black businesses. But here's the thing. You see, you didn't do your research because if you know the real milk and honey, they said something. The other people did something. That all led into the same thing over and over and over again with the Keith Lee effect, where you just saw 1 or 2 videos and you're like, oh, I don't like him. That just looks like you're a straight up hater. And that's not good. That's not a good image for you or your brand. That's never a good image for you or your brand. And that's what you need to understand. Like, if you're going to be looking like a hater, you got to actually come very intelligent. Don't be coming like, oh yeah, I'm a straight hater, because guess what's going to happen? People are going to stop supporting you. And that's not good for any form of business or any form of deals. So that's the only thing I had, to take away from that. I'm like you're not going to be looking good in a good spot, like if you keep that up. And I wish him better because, and he got told off by his own daughter by saying, no, we team Keith Lee over here. I heard about that. I was like, crazy. And he's like, oh, is Keith Lee going to buy you stuff for Christmas? That was crazy though. But, but he understood afterwards. He actually, I think he went to a deep dive after his daughter showed him some stuff, after people showed him some stuff, and then I think he recanted all the other stuff. And that's perfectly fine. You can have your opinions. You can have who you like and don't like. That is perfectly fine. But that was just blowing out proportion for no reason. But Shannon came back and just, made sure that he's like, hey, you need to not do that because this man has helped multiple businesses, and especially Black-owned, Caribbean-owned, multi-race owned, all different types of colors. He doesn't care what they are. He helps them. And that was the whole key. He helps them. He even helped the guy that had cancer raise money for the cancer that he needed for the funds to help him do the treatments because he didn't have money for the treatments. So that just tells you who that man is. But, you don't do your research and you don't see who he is. You're just jumping the gun and say, oh, I don't like him because he's joining black businesses. He has helped multiple black businesses. Even to the point where he even helped black businesses in Detroit. He helped black businesses in Chicago. Like I said, the fried chicken war, black business. He helped them. They blew like out of proportion. You know what I'm saying? So that's not how that goes.
What are the qualifications of being a food critic?
Go to a restaurant and do you like the food? Did you like the customer service? What was it like? Yes. What was the wait time like? That's all you got to do.
At the end of the day, Keith just gives his honest opinion and experience, but he implores everyone.
Because the only people, by the way, food critic wise, the only people that actually matter in the food critic world actually matter are Michelins. Anybody from a Michelin, from the Michelin star, is the only food critic around the world that people care about. Any other places, they don't care. They don't care because a Michelin star food critic comes into your restaurant. He is going to give you either a star or you're not going to have a good result for a high-end restaurant. For mom and pop shops, they don't care. They don't care because that's not what they're aiming for. They're aiming for the end of the day. Get their money, enough to pay their bills, have a good, life a little bit by this, and to have people enjoy their food because they enjoy cooking. They enjoy making people smile at the end of the day. It's like when you're going home to your mom or dad and they're cooking and then you eat their food and you're all happy and you're dancing and you're like doing the happy dance in the chair because you enjoy your food and you see your parents just laughing, smiling, having a good time and just loving the fact that you enjoy their food. I will never want to see a parent that tells, oh yeah, my child really doesn't like my food, so I buy him food every day. And what do you think is going to happen? That child is not going to have a really good connection of understanding home cooking. They're going to just want to eat out all the time. That's not good. And then it's perfectly fine, but it's still not good. You need to learn how to do home cooking so you can appreciate other people's foods and other people's cultures. That's the whole thing about cooking other people's cultures as well. Even when I see, like, I'm a Jamaican, even when people see people make oxtail, curry chicken, brown stew chicken, all different types of stuff, ackee and saltfish, plantain, and all that different type of stuff, I'll still be supporting because I'm like, oh, okay, they're trying this out. All right, I see them. But does it come out great? I don't know because I don't know. I'm not around there to try their food. But I'm also Chinese, so guess what? I see other people with Chinese food trying different Chinese variations of different Chinese food and stuff like that. That's fire. That's what's up. You know what I'm saying? So it's just how you want to approach the whole thing about eating out, eating in, doing what you love. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's doing what you love. And that's the whole thing about the Keith Lee effect.
Want to try for themselves. If he is too positive, his opinion will hold no weight. If he is too negative, he will be seen as destructive. There will always be haters. However, broadcasting his opinion to 14 million followers will, without a doubt, prevent a lot of people from trying a restaurant. If someone I trust says don't go somewhere to eat, I'll probably listen to them. Or if I have one bad experience, I probably won't go there again. This is why some people argue that you can't have a bad day in the customer service industry. If you can't afford a bad review, then you shouldn't give bad service, especially if you are inviting a food critic to your establishment, which a lot of these restaurants do. Through all the drama, Keith found a lot of gems in Atlanta. The seafood menu, juicy jerk, the dining experience, which he personally tipped the owner $2,000, and Jamaican jerk biz, where the owner broke into tears when he walked in. He asked the owner what her sales were for the day, which was $2,600, and he paid her $3,000 for his meal. However, Keith just announced that he's on his way to Houston to do a food tour, and restaurant owners are trembling. In just 10 months of fame,
that is so funny. Oh my God. Yeah, if you announced that he's going to Houston, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. That boy is getting trembled. All those people are trembling to see Keith Lee coming through those doors. They're like, oh my God. They're trying to be on their P's and Q's because they didn't want this Atlanta thing to come back at them. Hey, he's going to come unexpectedly. He's not going to go in first like he does with Atlanta. He's going to make sure that everybody's on their P's and Q's now. You learned about the Keith Lee effect. Now you're going to be on your P's and Q's.
Keith has helped hundreds of businesses, raise tens of thousands of dollars for charity, and continues to spread love and positivity during a time.
See, that's what I'm talking about. A black-owned food truck business. He raised $30K in less than 24 hours for them. Like, come on. See, that's what I'm trying to say. People don't know about certain things. You should not be really like on it like that. They got to take time, research, and then say something.
where we need it the most. Maybe from here he will start a food review show, or a cooking show, or maybe an app for restaurants all around the country that he recommends. As long as he remains the positive and wholesome man social media knows and loves, they will support whatever endeavor he chooses. Finally, the internet made the right person famous.
So yeah, y'all. That was the Keith Lee Effect by Patrick CC. I like this video. It taught me a lot about Keith Lee in the beginning I didn't know about. And a lot of the stuff I kind of knew at the end, and I kind of understand. I never really give my opinions and stuff like that on the internet because, you know, my opinions are solely in my, me, who I am as a person. And a lot of the things, like, you know, people always try to use it against you and all that other stuff. So I usually don't show my opinions all the time. I might start doing it more often because, you know, I am doing more reaction type stuff on YouTube and on TikTok sometimes. I slow down on my gameplay a little bit, but, you know, I'm having fun with this. I'm having fun learning stuff and doing stuff. Like, I'm going to check out more Patrick CC's videos and react to more of them. I want you guys to follow him as well, or subscribe to him, because he seems like he knows a lot of stuff. He does a lot of deep diving and understanding how, you know, these people's lives and culture and all the other different type of stuff that they went through. So yeah, I think I'm gonna call it right there. And, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys understand that, you know, all of this is just fun and entertainment, and to help you guys understand that, you know, you can achieve anything in life as long as you push yourself and thrive for what you want. You know, that is the true Keith Lee effect. That is what Keith Lee was all about. I'm going to keep on pushing and thriving for myself and, you know, for my family and loved ones. So hopefully one day I'll be up there on the top and I can still be humbled and help people. And that's my main goal. But like I was saying, we are human. We need to help each other out more. We need to understand each other more. And we need to show more love and kindness to each other. Because this life is too short for us to be hateful and nasty to each other. So yeah, hope you guys have a wonderful day. Hope you have a loving day. Peace out. The Dawn Dragon's out. If you want any more videos like this, let me know down below in the comments. Or if you want me to react to something else, let me know as well. Peace out.